discussion today. We are discussing the Indian Medical Council Amendment Bill together with the Dental Council of India Amendment Bill 2016. And we have seen this important issue to have received contradictory judgments by learned Supreme Court. So many of us are confused as to what is the feeling of the Honorable Learned Court regarding this matter even today. This is very important because it deals with the life of the people, because doctors in turn, when they qualify and come out as specialized professionals, they take care of our health system. There is no doubt that we need merit infusion into the medical fraternity, because a doctor in one hospital may disagree from the treatment modality from another hospital. For an example, our honorable leader of the party here, Sri Sudip Bandyopadhyay, he suffered acute stomachache and was admitted in a renowned hospital of New Delhi 1 year back. When I went to see him, I told him that he is suffering from stones in the gallbladder. But the doctor said, no, it is gastritis and it will go down. But to our dismay, his gallbladder ruptured, the stones were thrown all over his peritoneal cavity. He got septicemia and he was on the verge of death when he was flown to Calcutta, and his life was saved. So within a span of 2 to 3 days, 2 specialized hospitals, 2 specialized doctors, one was sending him to death, the other one brought him to life. So we agree that we have to have quality doctors and quality medical education, not only for people like Sudip Bandyopadhyay ji, but for every common man of this country who cannot afford private hospitals and who go to the government setups, the public hospitals. Now we are discussing whether the examination which the students have to undertake when they go to study the undergraduate medical course of MBBS or the postgraduate course of MD, they have to face certain examinations. Now we are debating whether this examination has to be regional, has to be done through the state boards, or it has to be centrally done through the National Eligibility Entrance Test. The first point that I would like to point out here, sir, that though it is impeachment upon the state authority to hold the examinations, this is going to be legislated, and we have certain recommendations like the time of the examination. If the exam is held simultaneously with a board examination going on in a state of the country, the students are going to suffer. The language of the examination, it says that is going to be Hindi, English and other languages, but I demand that all the languages in the 8th schedule of our constitution be considered, and the students who are preparing for the examination in the remote areas of our country, whether it is Tamil, whether it is Telugu, whether it is Marathi, whether it is Bengali, those students do not get the opportunity to study the same syllabus as the CBSE students. Only 18% of the students in this country are getting the opportunity of studying in English, the rest are studying in their mother tongue or in the regional languages. So this is very important that their plight is taken into consideration. The question papers are made so that they can understand in their own language, and also about the discrepancy in the syllabus, because there is between the West Bengal board and the CBSE nearly 37% difference. In these competitive examinations, half a mark differentiates 50 students from getting a chance or not getting a chance. So if the standard is of the CBSE syllabus, then many of our vernacular, many of our regional language studying students are going to be deprived, which is going to be gross injustice on them. This will have to be decided before we start this examination. So as before we had suggested, we are also saying now that let it be done in phases. Let the syllabus be stabilized throughout the country when students, they all study the same syllabus and then they appear for the examination, so they are not deprived. So that the economically backward students are not deprived, we have to have strict vigilance and monitoring over the private setups who give tuitions to these rich students for admission straight away into the private colleges. It is a welcome move that a common entrance test is going to be held for private and public colleges, but we have to keep in mind these 2 points of language and syllabus. The other point is, with example to West Bengal, when we are having the exams, we are having multiple number of centers all over the state in every district, covering nearly all subdivisions, where centers are held so that the student of that subdivision can easily go by bus, or some can also walk because it is near to their house and go and sit for the exam. So what is the proposal of the government regarding holding these exams if they are only held in the major cities? Then who's going to pay for the travel allowance and who's going to take care of the students when they come? Considering the present state of affairs in the country where little girls are raped and murdered. As my dear friend Supriya was speaking in the morning, in Maharashtra, in Haryana, so how can we protect the girl children when they are going to sit for the exams far away? You have to consider that every subdivision has to have more than one center where they can go and appear for this examination. The other thing that we want to emphasize is the time of the examination, because all the states do not have their +2 and class 10 examinations at the same time. So the examination will have to be held at such a time when all over the country this +2 examination is over and the students get about 2 to 3 months to prepare. It would rather be easier if the +2 results were held as the cut-off marks and a uniform syllabus is followed throughout the country and medical admission takes place through that cut-off marks of +2 level throughout the country, giving respect to the regional languages. And we also agree with the honorable member when he was speaking about the eating into the domicile number of seats. We have 85%. The domicile status has to be addressed because we have about 85% in the states, 15 being common. We don't want this common test to eat up our 85% also. So with these suggestions, I like to elaborate on the subject is that the health policy of the country seems all lopsided, because the health structure should be such that it is bottom heavy, where we have rural hospitals, where we have more primary healthcare centers. The common man can reach easily within his ability and get checked for common diseases and only get referred to tertiary centers when difficult diseases or operative procedures come into being. So the tertiary healthcare centers or the teaching hospitals or referral centers like the All India Institute of Medical Science here get only the difficult cases. But as honorable members present in this august house will agree with me, every time they go to their constituency, constituents come with the request of getting admitted into AIIMS because the common man is not getting proper treatment in his state or the regional hospital. Such is the discrepancy of knowledge in the medical fraternity. I don't know who makes the health policies here, but it is appalling that only 1.6% of the budget is allocated for the medical sector. Lot of instruments, equipments have to be imported, having 300% import duty. And it is true that if we follow the World Health Organization of ratio between patient and doctor, India is lagging behind, far behind developed countries. So if we call ourselves developed nation, if we are planning towards better days ahead with a lot of innovation and make in India, we also have to guarantee the health of our nation through us. Honorable member here was speaking about dialysis. India is going to become the diabetic capital of the world. And diabetes leads to kidney failure, it leads to cardiac failure, it leads to blindness. So if the government is not agreeable to increase the budgetary allowance, how can we prevent our people from going into renal failure or cardiac failure? It is our lopsided policy, it is our erroneous health policy for which students have to sit at home and go on reading multiple choice questions. These MCQs, they come in books and students spend hours mugging those questions to sit for these exams. I don't know who did away with the house stuff, who did away with the system in which students after passing the final MBBS were incorporated at junior house staff for 1 year, senior house staff for 1 year, then residents. The American system has this system in which after qualifying the undergraduate exam, they work as residents in the hospitals and learn things that they will have to do all their life, saving lives, doing operations. When students are sitting at home for the examination, mugging the multiple choice questions, they are not using their acumen, they are not using their heads, they are not on hands-on training. God forbid any honorable member gets a heart attack here. It would take a doctor like me 1 second to decide and give him cardiopulmonary resuscitation here on the floor of the house. But today I doubt whether 99% of the students who are qualifying in the different medical colleges after the undergraduate course even have ever heard of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, whether they have heard of Heimlich procedure being given when a food particle gets stuck in the windpipe. So they don't work. They are only sitting at home and reading these books. And this is the policy error of the government, in which they are allowing students to go on just reading books. Medical practice is not reading books. Medical practice is working on the patient in the hospital for 24 hours, doing the things that senior doctors teach. The house staffship has to be brought back, because that coaches the student to qualify for the postgraduate life, postgraduate degree. If I am looking inside a dark room, I can't see anything. I need a torchlight to see. Similarly, I need a retinoscope to see the retina. I need a cath lab to do an angiography, angioplasty. But here we don't have infrastructure in the country. Only increasing the stress on the students by making them appear for test after test is not going to improve the health delivery system of the country. We have to improve the infrastructure also. But that is not being taken care of by this government. The house job that the students used to do when we were students, that has been done away with, I don't know with whose knowledge and whose wisdom. If the house job is brought back, students qualify the undergraduate final MBBS exam and they get into the subject of their choice. Suppose they do general surgery, then allied subjects should be made available to them, and if he doesn't get qualification enough to join general surgery, he can join other branches of surgery like thoracic surgery, cardiothoracic surgery, head neck surgery, or even gynecology. A person who is working for 2 years in medical related, they can go into branch of into medical related subjects. But that is not being discussed. That is the way that an undergraduate student will work for 2 years and then another 3 years for residency and qualify as a postgraduate doctor. But the policy paralysis, the erroneous policy taken by the government is not thinking in these terms. They are they're trying to expose the students for the final MBBS examination, then the exit examination, and then the entrance examination. Isn't it ridiculous a single child has to sit for 3 examinations just to qualify to get into postgraduate life? He can do the house job, from there straight away according to his choice and number he gets into automatically into that branch, as is the case in the United States of America. Dr. Sanjay, our honorable member, was talking about it, that they work in the hospital as residents, learn hands-on about the different branches of medicine, and according to their interest they branch off and join those departments where he wants to do post-graduation and qualifies after 3 years, becoming a postgraduate doctor. That should be the way. Otherwise, the honorable minister is here. They should also try to enhance the number of the diplomat national boards so that they can go and work in the state hospitals. I agree completely with my learned friend Premachandranji here when he was talking about the Medical Council of India. You are trying to have a single examination, but who's going to hold the examination? The Medical Council of India, who is submerged in irregularities, malpractices, who goes and They cancel number of seats from undergraduate and postgraduate level in government hospitals because they are getting money and five-star facility in the private hospitals.
Right.
How can the Medical Council of India be entrusted to hold this examination, which is the life and profession not only of lakhs of students here who are going to aspiring to become medical doctors, but also us? Because in our old age, we'll have to depend on those doctors to take care of our health. So Medical Council of India cannot be given the charge to hold this examination. There has to be a different body taking care of all the factors like regional language, the frequency of examination centers, the time of holding the examination, and not cutting into our 85% and an uniform syllabus for the whole country. In our state, within a period of 4.5 years, our infant mortality rate has come down. Our maternal mortality rate has come down. Our institutional delivery has become 99%. Footfall in a small hospital in my constituency, that is the public hospital Barashat, the footfall every month is 1 lakh, where hardly 1,000 people used to go. That is because of the correct health policy taken by the Honorable Chief Minister Srimati Mamata Banerjee. She is giving free treatment to patients there, free operation, free pacemaker, free cardiothoracic surgery, free delivery to women. The women are being brought from the home in the state ambulance. After checkup and delivery, they are being left home in the state hospital ambulance, and they are being given other supplementary help. So the policy has to be good to have effect on the health system. By only having an examination universalized is not going to help with our health system. And these doctors who are qualifying, it is better that the examination be conducted, the marks be taken from their +2 level, and straight away admission into the medical side if they want to, and from there again into the postgraduate. But if this common exam will have to be implemented, then we will have to have a serious body with people sitting in the body who are not corrupted, because a supervisory board had been placed on MCI in 2010 because due to their corruption. We cannot allow such a body to hold this examination, but we have to have a system in which the states are not neglected, the children are not deprived. Thank you, sir.
Very good.